In 2025, the assumption that the smartest people are the richest doesn't hold up, and the latest data backs this up. A recent Swedish study tracking earnings and cognitive ability found that while higher intelligence is linked to higher income up to about 60,000 euros, roughly $64,000, that relationship weakens for those earning well above the average. At the very top, the highest earners don't consistently score higher on intelligence measures than those just below them. This counterintuitive pattern raises questions about what actually drives extreme financial success. If intelligence only gets you so far, what explains who breaks through the ceiling? The answer lies in how the connection between intelligence and income changes as you move up the earnings ladder. The $75,000 ceiling. What researchers call the $75,000 ceiling is less a hard line and more a turning point in how intelligence relates to income. In the Swedish study, cognitive ability explained nearly 40% of income variation among people earning up to about 60,000 euros, right around the median income for many developed countries. Below this point, smarter individuals reliably earn more. But once earnings cross that threshold, the relationship between intelligence and income flattens out. Past the median, higher cognitive scores don't predict higher pay. Ability accounts for less than 5% of the difference in who earns what. This effect holds across a range of industries and professions. Early in most careers, jobs reward analytical skills and problem solving, traits that standardized tests capture well. Promotions and raises are often based on performance metrics that favor those who learn quickly and handle complexity. But as incomes rise, especially into the top 10 to 20% of earners, the advantages of raw cognitive ability fade. The data shows that, while above-average intelligence is necessary to reach the middle and upper-middle income brackets, it's not enough to push someone into the very highest earning groups. Instead, other factors start to dominate. Risk tolerance, social networks, timing, and even luck become more important than test scores. Many of the top earners are business owners, sales leaders, or entrepreneurs. Roles where opportunity recognition, persistence, and the ability to build relationships matter more than technical expertise. The Swedish study found that individuals with only average cognitive scores sometimes out-earn their more intellectually gifted peers by large margins, especially once they move beyond conventional career paths. This doesn't mean intelligence stops mattering. It remains a baseline requirement for complex roles and leadership positions. But the data suggests that, past a certain income level, cognitive skills function more like a ticket to entry than a guarantee of further advancement. Those who continue to focus solely on technical mastery or accumulating credentials often plateau, while those who shift attention to strategy, influence, or scalable ventures break through the ceiling. The flattening curve also reflects how people sort themselves into professions. Many high IQ individuals are drawn to fields that prize expertise and offer stable, predictable rewards: academia, research, or public service. These careers place a premium on intellectual rigor, but they often come with salary caps and limited financial upside. Others, with similar or even lower cognitive scores, pursue paths where compensation is tied to scale, negotiation, or ownership, not just knowledge. This pattern helps explain a persistent paradox in the world of work. The most intellectually demanding jobs don't always pay the most. The brightest minds often end up in roles with prestige and influence, but not necessarily the highest incomes. Understanding this ceiling is key to seeing why so many talented individuals don't reach the very top of the income ladder, despite excelling by every traditional academic or professional measure. Prestige versus paycheck. Some of the most sought-after careers, those with high social status or intellectual recognition, do not offer the highest salaries. Fields prized for prestige, such as academia, scientific research, and public service, tend to compress salaries. Many specialists in these areas hit income ceilings far below what corporate executives or business owners can earn. For instance, a tenured professor might earn $100,000, while a mid-tier entrepreneur in the same city can often make $200,000 or more. This pattern is not limited to one country or sector. It's visible across healthcare, law, the arts, and even technology. The underlying reasons are straightforward. High-prestige roles have limited budgets and slow salary growth compared to the scalable revenues available to business owners. Academic and public sector institutions operate under tight funding and transparent pay scales, which restrict individual negotiation and cap upside potential. Even in the private sector, roles that are intellectually demanding but distant from direct revenue generation, like theoretical research or policy analysis, rarely see the same financial rewards as positions tied to profit and growth. This divide is reinforced early in career paths. High-achieving students are more likely to pursue pure disciplines such as mathematics, literature, or physics, drawn by the intellectual challenge and the respect these fields command. Yet these same paths often lead to jobs with modest pay and limited advancement. Meanwhile, those who choose applied or commercial fields, finance, sales, or entrepreneurship, encounter fewer barriers to high earnings, even if the work is less prestigious or intellectually rigorous. Social perception also plays a powerful role. Prestige acts as a kind of non-monetary currency, attracting talented individuals who value status, intellectual stimulation, or social impact over financial gain. Surveys consistently show that professions like university professor, judge, or public scientist are held in higher esteem than many better-paid corporate roles. This cultural cachet helps explain why individuals with the credentials to earn more elsewhere often remain in lower-paying, high-status jobs. Over a lifetime, the financial trade-off becomes stark. Someone who spends years pursuing advanced degrees and enters a prestigious but lower-paying field may never catch up in earnings to a peer who enters a lucrative industry straight out of college. The opportunity cost compounds, especially when factoring in years of unpaid training, limited bonuses, and rigid salary structures. In some cases, the gap in lifetime earnings can reach several $million. Certain professions highlight this divide even further. Classical musicians, for example, can spend decades honing their craft at elite institutions, only to earn less than local business owners or performers with little formal training. Similarly, public sector scientists or federal judges may turn down private sector offers many times higher, opting instead for roles that maximize status and influence rather than income. This prestige-driven sorting of talent has broader implications. When the most cognitively gifted individuals cluster in fields with limited economic leverage, society may not be maximizing its potential for innovation or wealth creation. Studies suggest that even a modest shift of top talent from academia or public service to entrepreneurship could have measurable effects on economic growth. Yet for many, the personal calculus still favors prestige over pay. Ultimately, the structure of the labor market ensures that the rewards of status and recognition often come at the expense of financial upside. For those who want both, the path looks very different, and the skills required to reach the highest income levels are not always the ones most valued in elite academic or professional circles. The business owner advantage. For those aiming for the highest income brackets, business ownership stands out as the most common path. Recent research from Sweden shows that the majority of top 1% earners are business owners, not employees. This pattern isn't unique to tech founders or high-profile entrepreneurs. Many top earners run mid-sized service companies, construction firms, or other businesses that rarely make headlines. The key difference lies in how income is generated. Business owners benefit from the profits of their entire enterprise, not just their own labor. This leverage allows everyday entrepreneurs to outpace even highly paid professionals. What sets business ownership apart is the nature of the skills involved. While corporate roles and traditional professions often demand high test scores and advanced degrees, running a successful business depends more on execution, persistence, and adaptability. Studies consistently find little correlation between founder IQ and long-term business success. Instead, practical abilities, like managing cash flow, acquiring clients, and building effective teams, matter far more than abstract reasoning or academic achievement. For example, in Sweden, most people earning well above the national average do so through business ownership, not by excelling on standardized tests. The structure of business income creates significant advantages. Unlike employees, who are limited by salary bands and performance reviews, business owners can scale their earnings by growing their operations. An owner with a small team can generate far more income than a solo professional, even if they personally work fewer hours. The ability to hire, delegate, and multiply output through others is a form of financial leverage that employment rarely matches. This is why owners of mid-sized firms often surpass the earnings of highly credentialed professionals, regardless of their own academic backgrounds. Another important factor is the compensation model. Employees, even at senior levels, face constraints from company policies and external oversight. Business owners, on the other hand, take profits directly and retain control over how they distribute earnings. This flexibility means that, with the right systems in place, owners can optimize for both income and lifestyle in ways that salaried roles cannot. In many cases, the majority of top earners in a given industry are not the most highly educated, but those who have built and managed successful enterprises. Educational credentials play a different role in entrepreneurship. While large corporations tend to filter candidates by degrees and test scores, business owners are more likely to succeed through hands-on experience and industry know-how. Surveys show that most top-earning business owners did not follow the traditional academic path. Instead, they learned through apprenticeships, on-the-job training, or by solving real-world problems as they arose. The skills that drive business growth, negotiation, leadership, process improvement, are rarely emphasized in formal education. Survival is another crucial aspect. Although many businesses fail in the early years, those that persist tend to generate substantial wealth for their owners. Data from Sweden and other developed countries reveal that surviving business owners have a much higher likelihood of entering the top income brackets compared to even the most successful employees. This survivorship effect highlights the unique opportunity business ownership offers for financial mobility. Access to capital can further tilt the odds. Well-funded businesses are more likely to survive and grow, regardless of the founder's intelligence level. Networks, family resources, or early financial backing often play a bigger role than cognitive ability in determining which ventures succeed. As a result, the path to high earnings through business is open to a broader range of people, not just those with elite academic credentials. Ultimately, the business owner advantage comes down to the structure of opportunity. Entrepreneurship rewards those who can spot gaps in the market, take action, and persist through setbacks. The traits that matter most, resilience, adaptability, and a willingness to act, are not the same as those measured by IQ tests or university exams. This is why business ownership remains the most reliable way to reach the highest income levels, even for those without exceptional intellectual gifts. But if intelligence isn't the deciding factor, what separates those who try from those who truly break through? One behavioral trait stands out among the highest earners, distinguishing them from even the smartest professionals. Risk tolerance pays off. Risk tolerance, rather than intelligence, becomes the defining trait among those who reach the highest income levels. A 2025 meta-analysis found that individuals in the top 1% of earners scored significantly higher on risk tolerance assessments than those just below them. This willingness to embrace uncertainty isn't something that can be taught in school or measured by standardized tests. It's a behavioral difference that influences every major decision, from career pivots to investment choices. Smart professionals often avoid risks, preferring the security of well-defined career paths and predictable outcomes. Years of academic achievement and professional training reinforce this mindset. The result is a ceiling. Even as their skills and credentials grow, their earnings remain bounded by the structures of their professions. In contrast, those willing to take calculated risks, starting a business, changing industries, or leveraging debt, are the ones who routinely break through income ceilings. The data shows that moderately intelligent risk-takers often reach the top 1% because they embrace the uncertainty that intelligence-trained minds tend to avoid. This pattern holds across industries. In medicine and law, for example, the highest earners aren't always those with the most impressive test scores or the most prestigious degrees. Instead, it's often individuals who step away from traditional roles and take on entrepreneurial ventures, such as opening clinics or starting boutique firms. Their success isn't just about expertise. It's about being willing to take on financial and reputational risks that others would rather avoid. Similarly, in finance, top traders and investors are distinguished less by their academic credentials and more by their comfort with making high-stakes decisions in uncertain environments. The inverse is visible in professions that select for risk aversion. Actuaries and research scientists, fields populated by some of the most analytically gifted, tend to have stable but capped salaries. Their training emphasizes minimizing errors and avoiding uncertainty, which translates into conservative career choices and lower overall earnings. The same analytical abilities that help them excel in complex problem-solving can also make them more sensitive to the potential downsides of risk. reinforcing a preference for stability over opportunity. Personality research supports this divide. High openness to experience, a trait associated with creativity and exploration, correlates with both risk-taking and higher earnings potential, but only weakly with intelligence. This means that some of the most intellectually gifted individuals simply aren't drawn to or comfortable with the kinds of risks that can lead to extreme financial outcomes. Their satisfaction comes from mastery and recognition, not from chasing uncertain rewards. Geography and timing also matter. High IQ professionals tend to cluster in established, stable regions and industries where the risks are lower, but so is the potential for outsized rewards. Those who end up in the top 1% often have nonlinear career paths, marked by pivots, failures, and comebacks that would deter the risk-averse. Each pivot carries the possibility of loss, but also the potential for a breakthrough. Ultimately, the research is clear. While intelligence helps open doors, risk tolerance determines who walks through the ones that lead to the highest rewards. This explains why, past a certain point, additional cognitive ability doesn't guarantee higher income. Instead, those who can manage uncertainty and act decisively, even without the highest test scores, are the ones who reach the financial summit.